This is my entry for this week's DreamSnap, Grand Anniversary Gala. For this, one of the main things I knew I wanted to do was to have all the villagers in it and use Hades to get the other villagers to look at the camera. Now, the build itself didn't take long, since I needed to leave so much open space for the villagers. So I just focused on the backdrop, where I knew I wanted to have a castle, balloons, and fireworks. And to block the area off, I used the Magnolia Garden Gates. And put the party photo backdrop behind them, to add some gold shimmer. Then I added some of the Adventure is Out There balloon baskets for the party vibe. To match, I used the gold brick floor. Which I didn't quite have enough, so I had to edit out the corners. I added the red carpet from the Founders Pack, since it paired well with the gold, and I thought it added a royal touch. Next, I added a bunch of DreamSnap trophies, since this is the DreamSnap Anniversary Snap. I felt like it was the perfect time to use them. So I put some in the back, and some right behind where I wanted to put my character. Since it's the second anniversary, I wanted to have 2 cakes, one on each side of my character. So I put down 2 display pillars, adding the new balloon trees, and some fireworks. Now, I have no idea why, but I literally typed in bubble to get the bubble machine when I wanted the confetti one. No idea why I did that, but I am in for a surprise when I test the effects later. Checking how it's looking, display pillars are too far forward. Notice a gap between the castle and the Magnolia gates. And I really wanted to use those festive lights archways, but they weren't covering the gap. So I tried moving the gates closer to the castle, but I couldn't really move them too much. So I decided to check in camera mode to see it at the actual angle. The display pillars were too close, so I moved them over. I wasn't happy with how the festive light archways were looking, so I moved them out and tried adding more of the Magnolia gates to continue the curved look instead. I still wanted to get those festive ones in, but it just wasn't working. Testing the look again with the effects going to see how that will look. Moving some things around a little bit. Testing again. And getting a face full of bubbles and going, what? And swap that one out. And now it's time to start gathering villagers. I figured I would finish filling in the foreground once I knew where they all were. To gather villagers, I like to fence in the area, so they don't escape on me. I like to use the bonfire, but any summoner would work. Remembered to close in the fence behind me. Now I just need to keep spamming the bonfire to get them all. Checking my list to see if someone is missing. Now that I have them all, I thought I would start with the taller ones that I was going to put in the back, and work my way forward. I like to use the mini pictures to block them in, but any small item would work. Most villagers only need the space of 1 mini picture to fit in. If you stay hanging out with them and walk away, you can test to make sure they are blocked in. And I apparently built his square right next to him, not around him. So I had to open it up and push him in. Did you know you could put 2 teleporters in one zone in Mythopia? Because I didn't, but I randomly decided to try, and it made this part so much easier. And don't forget to stop hanging out with your buddy before teleporting, or you'll have to put them back. I wanted to put characters from the same universe together, so I grabbed Sally next. And maybe I shouldn't have started with Jack, because he kept freezing the other characters every time he did his animation. Spinning the pictures around to hide the pink so they will be less noticeable. Testing out how it looks. Moving the confetti back and grabbing Maui next. Now, he is one of the characters that need more room. And it took a lot of trial and error to get the right size. And if you're wondering why I keep kneeling before switching into the second camera mode, it's because if you crouch, then quickly switch into the second camera mode, it will glitch and give you a lower camera angle while still letting you keep some of the sky. And I thought the lower angle would work better for some of the shorter villagers. Moving him over a little. Grabbed Sully next. And I wanted Belle near Beast. I thought it would be fun to have the Forgotten near the front. Didn't forget Cheshire Cat. Almost did, but didn't. And his tree broke my wall, so I need to fix that. The Forgotten's wings were blocking Beast, so I moved them to the other side. I wanted Mickey and Minnie up front with my character. Testing to see how everyone's fitting. Adding cakes. Putting Mike by Sully. Adding the Lion King characters next. And they weren't easy to find the right size box for. Now, I didn't really like putting Simba next to Scar, but I wanted the same universe characters together. Starting to feel like there might not be enough room, so moving my character forward to help with that. Put Nala in front because I didn't really think I could go too much more out to the side. More wall fixing because that pipe might actually show now. Adding another tree to balance out Cheshire's. Trying to get it to fit a little further back to mirror the other side. I grabbed Pumbaa next, but he was doing the I will not be pushed thing. So I tried fishing to reset him. That used to work for frozen walk-throughable villagers, but it didn't help. So I had to figure out how to get him in place without being able to push him. And he did not want to squeeze in between other characters. I ended up having to move some things around to get him where I wanted him. Thankfully, the things I moved were easy to put back. Adding Timon in front, thankfully he was easy to deal with. Or so I had thought. He escaped immediately. Put him back. Started to work on the other side with adding Goofy and Moana. Then Mulan, who did not want to go where I wanted her, and got stuck in by Maui, who nearly escaped when I tried to get her out. Got him back in and teleported her out. Tried again, and she got pushed into his square again. Teleporting out again. Pulled her square further away from Maui's, and that worked. Adding Tiana next to her. Put Vanellope and Oswald near Timon. Adding Ursula behind Scar, because villains together. Can you tell I'm avoiding Maui's side now? Testing how it's looking. Putting Eric by Ariel. Decided it was time to go back to the other side, adding Frozen characters. Put Merlin next to Tiana, Since he was a little shorter, I thought it would be okay to put him in front of Goofy. And it's getting harder to tell which pictures go with which squares when in furniture mode. And Merlin nearly went into Maui's square. Teleported him out, and tried again. Put Fairy Godmother next to him. Added Flynn. I was a little worried he might be too tall, but I didn't have room to go further out. Adding Hades to the foreground, so he can get the others to look at the screen. Both he and Jack have an animation that will attract the attention of nearby villagers. The main difference is that with Jack, they react with a puzzled or annoyed expression, but with Hades, they will react with a happy one. Flynn is blocking Kristoff, so I was trying to get Kristoff to scoot over a little, but that tree wasn't making it easy. Trying to add Jafar to the back, but he decides he wants to walk through the crowd instead of following me along the edge. And somehow he ends up stuck in Maui's square, so I teleport him out, and try leading him a little slower. Adding Scrooge near Mickey, and Donald and Daisy near him. Next is Olaf and Stitch. Testing how it looks, and something felt off. Apparently Mother Gothel escaped. Not sure when that happened, and I didn't remember where I put her, so I figured I would deal with getting her back later. Adding Merida opposite the Forgotten, and Peter next to Fairy Godmother, who apparently flies when he reacts to Hades, and is blocking everyone behind him. So I swap him out for Alice and put him in the back. Putting Gaston near Maui, and Maribel near Merida. Mother Gothel came back, so it was time to find a spot for her again. This time she goes near Jafar. Apparently characters from the same universe don't have to go near each other anymore, as I am running out of room. And it is really starting to feel like there isn't going to be enough room to fit everyone. So I give in and widen my screen resolution. I actually have a widescreen monitor, but I find the other resolution better for most DreamSnaps. At least for my design style. So this is actually the first time I'm using the widescreen for a snap. Everyone is fitting a little better, but I'm going to scoot my character a little forward, and Mickey needs to move over a little. Dropping some glimmer and sparkles, and using the glimmer to help distract from all the mini pictures. And how did you escape? Putting him back, or close to where he was, since I didn't want to risk anyone else escaping while trying to get him back in there. Back to putting glimmer down. Testing how it is looking. Moving the cakes forward since they are getting kinda hidden back there. Now the cakes are feeling too blocking, and the rest of the foreground is too empty. So I scoot them back and add a few lower tables to add more food to. Testing how it looks. Cakes are a little better, but they are blocking the shorter villagers. So I test out having them on one of the shorter tables. And that feels better, so I switch them over. Adding some more glimmer, and trying to scoop Mickey and Minnie down a little. But Mickey bounces into the wrong spot, so I have to teleport him out and push him where I want. Then try to get Minnie a little more forward as well, which thankfully went a little smoother. Testing the look. They are looking better, but the foreground is feeling empty, especially on the left, so I decided to shift some people around on the left to help fill the area. That's a little better, but Flynn is getting cut off. So rearranging them a little. I'm replacing some of the mini pictures with the elegant water lilies, as I am running out of mini pictures. I had over 100 of them. Guess I should have bought more extras than I did, but I wasn't going to reload everything to go buy more. And Rapunzel nearly escapes, but thankfully she didn't get far. Putting Peter forward again because he was out of range for Hades and couldn't really be seen back there. Testing again. And when did they escape? Put Fairy Godmother back, and Mother Gothel gets to be closer to Rapunzel this time, in Peter's old spot. I wanted to pull Stitch and the others in his row forward, to help fill out the area. testing to see if that's a better spot, shifting him a little, pulling Olaf down next, then Daisy, Donald, and Scrooge. I kept having to swap out mini pictures in the back rows, so I had a few extras to shift them around. Thankfully, there were no escape attempts this time. Moving the tables on the end a little, adding more balloons and glimmer, cooking up more desserts to display, testing out how it's looking. I'm pretty happy with it, but the pictures are still feeling too noticeable, so I throw down some flower paths to help distract. Testing to see if I like it compared to not having any on the other side, and I decide I like it, so adding more flower path. Testing it again, and I like it, but I want to see if I can add a little bit of sparkles. Can't really get them in most places, but I do get one in the foreground that I'm happy with. Now I just have to wait for Hades to do his animation. I'm pretty happy with how it came out, though some characters are more blocked than I would have liked, and not everyone is in range for Hades, so they're not all looking at the camera. Thank you for watching. Please like the video if you found it at all helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more like this.